have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe here. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're back. Me and my co-host Jay Key.
Yo, dude.
We'll do some Monster Island stuff. We got a lot. Jay, you've compiled, the usual toy news, the news.
Toy
I
news.
think you got pickups.
Got some pickups.
And then we got a fun topic this week. I think we're going to be talking about Neo Ultra Q a little later. But Jay, how you doing, man?
Good. I'm curious how many times tonight I will refer to it as Neo Player One, because I have a feeling that's going to happen more than once. Because I've done that, like I've written it out, like sometimes on like notes and stuff as Neo Player One. I'm like, that would be a good show. That would be a really good show. It'd be expensive, but it would be a good show.
No one would get to watch it.
Right? Only the people that go to a very, 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 very small event. I'm doing great, man. We'll share more probably over time as the months go on. But we had a really good conversation with a little serendipity.
Well, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I mean, might as well. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of people know this about you already because hopefully, and if you're not watching Toy Anxiety and you're watching Monster Island, whoa, guys, Tuesday night live. Go check out Jake and the rest of the YHS crew along with Ryan Dole. And they just break down everything there is about the toy world in general. And they have a lot of fun guests, a lot of cool guests. They talk about a lot of cool stuff. But if you do watch Toy Anxiety, you know that Jake and the crew are going over there next year for Star Wars Celebration, and they're going to Japan. I say they're going to there.
Like, they don't know where that is.
I know, right? We were just having this conversation. And they're going to Japan next year for Star Wars Celebration and all that good stuff. And that's great. Well, kind of unbeknownst to the world, except for a few folks, we've been working here at the Tokyo Toy Town headquarters on a similar trip, separate, not Star Wars Celebration focused, just a trip that's been planned. And I booked my flight and stuff to Japan separately, was already locked and loaded. Jake and them have done the same. And we just found out it's like 85% of the dates like overlap. We're going to be in Japan.
We're going to be in Japan at the same time.
and mostly overlap obviously in Tokyo. But so I'm excited now that a trip that, was going to be really cool. And we're going to obviously spend lots of money and buy lots of cool things and see lots of cool things. We might actually get to do some of it together unplanned as of, about 20 minutes ago.
I think it's going to be really special, Jay. I think I would be so bummed out if we were both in Japan, but like a week apart from each other.
A week apart.
Not just because you're one of my best friends, but like the connection that we have because of Godzilla. We have to do Godzilla stuff together in Japan. Now we're going to get to. So that's going to be fun.
Amazing.
I'm super excited. We all already got our tickets. It's happening. We're going to Japan. I can't.
Non-refundable.
Non-refundable.
So I mean,
what's crazy? What's crazy is like, if anybody had ever asked me if I could go anywhere, in the world where on a vacation where I go, it would have been Japan. Like Japan is where I want to go more than anything. And it always is one of those things. I've been out of the country a couple times, but I went to London, nothing crazy. But the thought of going to Japan, first of all, is like a daunting thing. You're like, maybe one day I'll get to Japan. Yeah. Me and Craig and Abby have talked about doing a YHS trip to Japan for a long time. Star Wars Celebration like opened the door to actually make it happen. But I never would have thought that my trip to Japan, when it would finally happen, literally all of my best friends are going. You're going to be there. Jess, Craig, Abby, AJ, Ryan Dole, Geek Dad Life, Jay, Glaff. Everybody I know is also going to be in Japan at the same time. It's nuts. I can't fucking wait. It's going to be we're all gonna come back so depressed.
I know, but it'll be a good depression. Jake, I have it even worse. I mean, I'm even more embarrassed. Like, I've been through Japan a couple of times. I've been to Narita a couple of times on the way to other countries and stuff. And I just never have gone. And if you'd have asked me some of the time I was 8 years old, if I could go one place, probably for most of the time I would have said Japan, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why haven't I gone? Why did I prioritize these other countries over Japan?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think it was I didn't want to go like either by myself or with somebody, just because, and I wanted to make sure it was like perfect. And then I had it all planned out and it was booked, and then COVID hit.
Right.
And then we rebooked it for 2021. Yes, 2021. And unfortunately we had to change it for some personal stuff that wasn't planned. And then now, then it was just kind of waiting to everything like open back up, and there were no travel restrictions and stuff like that. And then, it's been kind of, when you have kids and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit harder, but we were able to finally to lock it down. So third time's a charm, third time flying into Japan. I'll get to stay and travel outside the airports for this one. So I'm really excited. Nothing against all those other wonderful countries that I've been to. I love them all. Yeah. But this has been special. And I just also have been like, the other places you go, whether it's domestic or international, I've always been like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. It's going to be amazing. And if it's not, we'll kind of live to see another day. But like in Japan, it's always been like, it has to be perfect, right? Because it's like, you just don't know when you're going to have 2 weeks away.
Right. When are you ever going to be in Japan again?
Or whatever. You don't know. Yeah. And there's no reason that you can't go back again, because you'll probably go to another country soon. And it's like, well, so it's an irrational way of thinking about it. It's like putting it on this pedestal where it's like, if I don't want to waste any moment. And so I'm glad that we're able to lock it in. Yeah.
It's going to be good. Very excited. There'll be more, we'll do some content from over there, and we're going to stay in a capsule hotel together and shop and eat dinner out of a vending machine. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. It'll be one of those things where like, we'll just, we'll walk in all the stores and not going to Broadway, but like, oh no, here come these two again. No, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. And I can't wait for April to roll around.
Yeah, gonna be cool. Well, listen. Until then, we got other more important things to talk about. So
I don't know if more important, but we have other things. Hey, I know we mentioned this last time, but I want to give an update. Like, Tokyo Toy Town will be making our Designer Con debut in November at Designer Con, D-Con, something I've always wanted to go to. So it's a nice way to go and hopefully pay for itself that way, but and see all the crazy stuff, like 600 or 700 artists or what. It's just nuts. But the cool thing is I got a booth, meaning like I actually have my number. I'm on the map. Like, I knew I had the booths, but like I'm excited that it's actually there in a cool little area. Quick walking distance to things like Marusan and Sun Guts and T-Base Japan and Creature Bazaar. I mean, like, take my money now. Yeah. So it's going to be like literally like sell one toy, go over and give that money, buy a toy. But I'm really excited to do that. And of course, our good buddies, Ryan Wilhelm and Sweaty Vinyl Michael will be there. And it's going to be, and Chaz from Kaiju Go, Chaz going to be there. Whoa. Adam from Thirsty Thursday. It's going to be a Kaiju Go reunion, man.
That's awesome.
And I'll be spending, lots of stuff at the Max Toyco table, just like Kaiju Go. It's going to be
the same thing.
Fun.
Yeah,
I know, it's the same thing. Just
dude, hey, Jay, we do cool stuff.
We do cool stuff.
We just do. We do cool stuff. Congratulations on that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It made it real, right? Like it was like, I'm there, I'm locked in,
right.
I'm good. Getting some vendor communication from the head honchos, but then like when you see your name on the map, it kind of makes it official. And it's a big venue, and I'm super, super excited. I got some really cool inventory. We'll be rocking and rolling there, and hopefully people will dig it. And if not, hey, guess what? I'll still get to go to D-Con. So it's all good. Oh, hey, I was gonna say, but speaking of good stuff, Jake, I know I shared this with you, and this is really cool. I wanted to send a thank you to one of our listeners, Zach, who sent us these awesome, I would say, very well thought out backstories to these drawings of Jake and I as Kaiju, Jakira, genius, and then of course the Tattooed Titan. But he had this huge write-up of all the powers, and they were hilarious. Zach, so
Amazing.
good. But my favorite one was that your powers only work when you watch Shin Kamen Rider. I thought that was, I just like slow clap, golf clap, round of applause for that one. I thought that was so good. So thank you, Zach.
Thank you for that. It was very fun. The pictures were amazing. I love those.
Yeah.
Jay, what else? You got any other stuff off the top, or you want to jump right into pickups?
You know, I have one other thing. If you know, I know you do a lot of crossovers with other shows and stuff, in Kaiju and otherwise toy shows and pop culture shows and all that good stuff. I'm actually going to be doing one next week with our good friend Elijah Thomas over at Kaiju Conversation. He's doing a live show next Monday, or excuse me, next Tuesday, and I'll be joining him on that. I've met Elijah through going to G-Fest and stuff, and he's friends with a lot of our friends, and he's a filmmaker and kind of a up-and-comer in that realm, and just a really good dude and very knowledgeable, and he runs a show called Kaiju Conversation. It's been going on for a long time, and they do it's funny because, you know, we talk about in our reviews, like we don't do deep dives, like we don't go over the technical aspects of films and like all that stuff. He's a filmmaker, and his co-host also is heavily involved in film. They do. I'm like, so it's like, it's about the opposite of ours. Like, you know, he is breaking down like cinematography and lighting, and we're like, that monster was cool looking. Both very valid, very valid, but it's going to be fun to be on with him and chat.
Do you know what your do you have a specific topic, or you're not sure?
He just said he wanted to chat like little Kaiju Go, little Toku Toy Town, and a little White on Monster Island, kind of the three-headed monster of my Kaiju life. You know?
Did you say it's on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it's about it starts like an hour after Toy Anxiety.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on over here, and I'll have another pair of headphones so I can listen.
No, but he's a cool dude. And he's a really cool guy, and he's done a lot of other shows and stuff. And I mean, I was and also he's a writer for Kaiju United. It's a news site that we frequent often and visit often. And I was like, I mean, he's a young dude. He's like in his early 20s, and I'm just like, man, looking back when I was that age, I didn't even know other people knew what Godzilla was. And here you are making like short films for G-Fest and like writing for a news hub. I'm so anyway, so excited about that. So that's the 24th at 9:30 Central Time PM. So join us if you want to chat a little Kaiju.
Yeah, sounds good, dude. Well, Jay, let's do some pickups.
We got Kaiju pickups. Oh, what a glorious day! Oh, Kaiju pickups with our hosts Jacob and Jay. Rock on! Yes!
Hey, I have none. I have no pickups, and I might not have any pickups until after Japan. Just to be a heads up. That's not true. That's not true, but it's gonna calm down a little bit. But I know
I got some fun stuff, man.
I know you.
I got some fun. Well, yeah, mine's really fun. Like it's a cool little group of pickups, and yeah, I'm excited. This was a good pickup week but a very different one. But the first one I wanted to show. So we talk a lot about 1UP on here, and they've just been killing it the last few years at all the festivals and stuff. But I don't have a lot of 1UP, but there was one I had to get, and I think this is cool on a couple levels. First off, it includes as an accessory my favorite kaiju, Skeleturtle. So we have Skeleturtle in there, but it's the mystery bones of Infant Island, but it's this egg and Mothra larva. Here's why I like it, Jake, besides Skeleturtle. So if you notice here in the egg, there's like there's a circle here, and then there's like a circle, like this little brown circle sticking out in this circle. It's not a circle, but this carve out here. Right. You actually cut those open, and you can actually put this Mothra larva in here like he's busting out. Okay. And this hole, if you buy the Godzilla 64 from 1UP with the Mothra larva on its tail, you can actually take it off the tail and put it through the other one. It's encouraging cross purchasing, which is great. Yeah. But that cross sell. But I'm really excited about it because I want to display it that way. And then of course with Skeleturtle, or maybe I could have Skeleturtle coming out of the egg.
Put him in there.
Yeah. But I thought that was really cool and just kind of neat and different and unique. And like you have to kind of use other toys to kind of make that work. So that was cool.
Very cool.
The other thing I got that's also small, but just Like Jake. So adorable. This is one of the coolest things I have. And this is from Whisper Town. And Whisper Town is wonderful. They do a lot of really cool stuff. But does it get better than a little baby Pigmon sitting on a balloon?
Oh, man.
Look at that guy.
That's amazing.
Look at that. Even has a little necktie or a bandana tied in the back there with a little tail sticking out.
Love that.
I mean, this thing is so cool. I love this guy. One of my favorites. And then I have one other pickup before I'll get to kind of like a pickup group I'll do together.
Okay.
The other pickup is, hey, guys, I still collect 89s. They just don't release as many. But when they do, if I like it, I get it. And then I get rid of another one, which I have. And it's on TokyoToyTown.com. You can figure out which one it is. But the one I picked up was this really cool blue with this kind of lime green type spray on it. Very cool. This was a recent release. They haven't been doing as many of the 89s other than the Aurora, the crystal one that came out a few months ago. But I picked this one up. And so I got rid of one of the other marbled ones that I had that looks a lot like another marbled one I have. So
right.
They are different. But this one I had to pick up. I love the colorway. And blue green together is great. And I know Adam at Thirsty Thursday would like this with his love of anything green. It's a good one. It's a good one. So the next one I'll do kind of as a lot, because we talk about on the show a lot that there are those lines or brands or whatever that like we know we don't want to start because when we start we won't be able to stop. We always joke about the tricycle line of M1 or Harryhausen X Plus. Like I'm just staying away from that. And I have successfully stayed away from that one. But one that the dam officially broke over at Kaiju Go, and I had some pieces, but like not enough to say it was a collection. I could put other things in a DTOF cube with them and like spread them out. But that's the Max Toy Captain Max line. And then at Kaiju Go, I got an Izon that I finally like. I feel like when you get the Izon, you're screwed, man. You're in. And then I got a Captain Max, and I got another Captain Max, and then I got their new Alien Zam, and I had some other ones, and I was like, I had the a couple of the Axrons. I got another one. I'm like, you know what? I got to start filling in some of these gaps, and I got one. I was like, oh, that's cool. I got to get that one. Then I saw another one. I got to get that one. Oh, well, if I have, it's like if I have Dragigus, I got to get Drazoris.
Of course.
So net, I got a few of these, and I got some really, really, really cool ones. So the first I'll do is kind of the old school Max Toy Co. So kind of the original group of bad Kaiju and Seijin that Captain Max would fight. So to go along with like Alien Zam and Izon and stuff, I had to get, and I love this paint job. This is amazing. Of a Kaiju Tripus, which is kind of the sea monster. But look at this. Yeah, look at this amazing, like, this is such a Max Toy Nagata style paint job here with like the metallics that are so blended together here, these beautiful colors. This is amazing. That's just sharp. so cool. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Wow.
And I love all the different variants of Tripus they have with like the minis and everything. But I was really super stoked to get this one. I was like, okay, well, I can't stop here because, I don't want him to be lonely on this pickups. So I had to get, and I got a, now these I believe were done by, they're Max Toy, but I think done with a partnership with Dream Rocket. Yes, they were. Good. So Dream Rocket recently, well, no, that was Dream Planet we talked about. No, it was Dream Rocket we did with like the Garamon and Pigmon and Ultraman and stuff we talked about recently.
Yeah.
Well, this is one they did way back in the day with Max Toy, and this is Dragigus and Drazoris. So here are these two guys, and these guys are like super amazing. I mean, they're just very like, obviously Mark is a Subaraya historian and knows his stuff, and he just can capture that aesthetic really well of like of an Ultra Kaiju. But I love this guy because he has kind of like the Baragon type flaps and stuff, and even the back. But also, like, I like the jaw. If you can see there, kind of the back of the jaw goes almost back like it's dislocated.
Yeah.
Like it's so very, very, very cool. And the tusks come out there. Love this guy. And then Drazoris here, once again, just captures the essence of an Ultra Kaiju. And I like, obviously the bodies are the same, kind of that play on how they would always use the Baragon body for all the different Ultra Kaiju stuff, like, you know, just like they would with Pagos and all those, and Gabora and all them. So I thought those were really cool. But that's not all. So also got one of my favorite ones that they do, and they do a lot of really cool customs of these, is Kaiju Dualos. And it's where it's half the organic monster and half the mecha monster. But this paint job is really, really cool. And this is a recent one. So look at this guy. So you have like there's like the metallic mecha head, and then there's kind of the regular one. I just love this. And you know, talk about throwback, going back to old school Jay, when I wrote a lot of my books, The Adventures of Duke Lagrange, I had a very prominent character that had two heads similar to this. And so I was like, this one just kind of spoke to me.
Yeah. That's nice.
So love that. And then the last one I got, this is a bad mamma jamma. So this is, this was a Graveyard Gallery, a Hakuba Gallery exclusive. Love this guy. So this is Kaiju Zenga. And look at this dude. Oh my gosh. So it's gigantic. Look how big this thing is.
Whoa.
Look at this. I mean, it's just coming at you. So it's amazing. Like, and all like it has a ton of like of moving parts. Look at this. Like these even giant like beetle mandible looking claws. Like they like actually turn and stuff.
Wow.
This thing is just a freaking carnival coming at you.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. A carnival.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, and look at the detail on the back. It has that kind of prehistoric trilobite face hugger type vibe to it, but yet you can definitely see influence from a lot of different Ultra Kaiju and other Kaiju, and it's just awesome. And then like the club hands, like he doesn't even have hands, just club people.
Colors are wild on that.
Wild. But such like a good, like you could see this at the Hakuba Gallery. I mean, it's kind of along with their wacky colorways, but one of my favorites, the Kaiju Zanga. But yeah, so those are my pickups, but I absolutely am all in, and I'm thinking now of how to rearrange some shelving and stuff to like do a full Captain Max display, because now I'm up to like 10 or 12 pieces. So it's like you kind of gotta
collect it.
Yeah. And which is great, because there's still a lot more that I need to grab. I want to try to find a really good, the old school first version of Alien Zam is kind of what's on my list next. But so many cool stuff. But I'm all in, dude. I'm all in.
You definitely are. You got a lot of good stuff this week. Good job, dude.
Yeah, and oh yeah, this guy, this little Pigmon is just nuts.
Yeah, he's great. That's a glorious toy, man. Good stuff this week, Jay. Like I said, I got nothing. What do we got for news? Do we got news or
we do? We have a few things, man. Let me share my screen. Not
slides,
a ton,
maybe.
Of course, we're gonna have slides. Not a ton. It's actually been. Once again, I say this disclaimer every time. I'm not saying it was a light week in news. It's a light week in the news that we're going to talk about, that we feel like we have any business talking about. Because there's some stuff that gets out there that's like, they're like, why would these two morons talk about it? Because they don't know. But let me share my screen real quick. And let me see. Okay, and then I will share screen. There it is. I knew it was there somewhere. Okay. We got the news. YHS on Mulcher Island. The news. Okay. So the first one we got to talk about, and I want to first off say I sourced a lot of this information because they're thorough, but yet concise. I trust everything that they say, and they're usually one of the first ones to do it, and that's our good buddies over at Kaiju United. So go check them out for all your news, whether it's toys, whether it's film related, whether it's literature related, doesn't matter. They're great on kind of the greater tokusatsu landscape. So Jacob and his team are awesome. But anyway, I want to talk about this because this news broke probably right after we had our last discussion, maybe or last, I can't remember, but the memoirs of a filmmaker, Ishiro Honda, the documentary, more details have been released. And I'll be honest with you, after I read it, I got kind of more excited about this. So what we do know is Jonathan Bellis, the Spanish director of the Dawn of Kaiju Ega documentary and such, and his company Dai Films, they're going to be doing this Ishiro Honda documentary. And they've already filmed a lot of it. And some of the interviews include the Ishiro Honda's son, Akira Kurosawa's son, Shinji Higuchi, Linda Miller. I thought you'd get this one. Joe Dante from
Joe
Gremlins.
Dante,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Steve Rifle and Ed Godzikowski, the guys that did the novel, the actual book on Ashiro Honda. And so we know that it'll be tentatively scheduled right now for May of 25. So that's cool. We come back from Japan, we're depressed, we can watch that.
Yeah.
And then we know the film will be kind of focusing on 5 areas, is how the director outlined it. It'll be his kind of early lifetime as like an assistant director, all of the stuff during World War II with the propaganda and everything else that they had to do during that time. His directorial works as he's kind of like started up as his own kind of director post-war, and then he gets into the golden era, which of course Godzilla is going to be super prominent there, and a lot of the stuff he did there with Toho, and then his work specifically with Kurosawa is kind of the last section. So really pumped about it, and I thought this was kind of something that, like I said, I mean, wasn't expecting it, but now that we know it's coming out, kind of getting excited for it.
Yeah, this is going to be good. This is one of those like special moment type. This will be cool. This will be very good. I'm very interested in this.
And I like it that it's from a person, the director that loves this genre, but also has like, knowledge in the genre, but also can make good documentaries, good films.
Yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to be super good. And hopefully we learn some stuff and it just kind of delivers. And maybe next he'll do a whole suite of these, a whole roster of these with like Subaraya.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Do Fukube, and this all of it would be amazing. But we do have some toy news too, because I mean, we have it. And I have to ask you, so these are 2 that recently released things here locally in the States. I was wondering, were you able to grab Tom Whalen's Godzilla Chomp from Abominable Toys, or did you get the pen and ink variant for James Groman's Godzilla from Mondo, which I know you have the original version? Ooh. But I was curious on either of these 2.
I got it right here. I can't put it down. I love this toy. Just keep it right here. Jay, I wasn't able to get either one. Now I didn't try to get the Groman. I got one, and I'm sticking with just one. I don't need multiples.
Yeah, they're so big.
It's too big to get multiples. Whalen's, I love it. I just was not able to grab it at this time, and I'm glad to see that it sold out though. That's
and
which of course it would.
Yeah. So I did get the Groman because, like you, I wanted to get one, and I also felt like when we talked last, I was like, I love it, but like it's just not my aesthetic with the mangled corpse and exposed muscle and everything. And then he comes out with this one, which isn't. I mean, it's still kind of grotesque and has skeletal stuff, but it will probably have those. It will be if you want it to have that, you can do it. Yeah, I like the black and white. Like I love it how it is. Like this was speaking to me in so many ways, and I wanted the sculpt because the sculpt is amazing. So I was able to pick. Toy. Yeah, and I think there's still some left. So I think you can go to the Godzilla store because it was a Godzilla store exclusive, and go pick one up before they run out. But I mean, for something that large, $250 is nothing. I mean, it's I mean, it's an expensive toy, yes, but like you get your money's worth there. Now on the Tom Whalen one, put it on a payment plan. Yes, exactly. Tommy Whalen. So this one, I'm so bummed because when they announced the time, I was like, yes, I have no plans at time. I'm going to be hitting refresh. Because there's only 400 of these, and the first 100 win at Comic-Con. So there's only 300 left.
Oh,
but then I read the fine print, and the first time was only for the first hour or so was only for the Abominable Toys Creature Club members. And I was like, darn it, I'm not one of those. And I looked into it, I was like, okay, like maybe I do that. But you know what? I'm pretty confident, like, if I'm there on the first minute, I can grab it. So, unfortunately, I was driving, and that was like the one. I was literally the one place. But I pull over about 9 minutes after it went live for the regular folk. Gone, sold out. So first off, congrats to Tom and Abominable Toys. They made a toy that's awesome, and like there's a reason it sold out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I already have my eBay search on for when it ships in October. It's already ready.
Tom, get Jay one of these toys. Tom, no. I know you're listening.
No, I'm not fishing for that.
For my sake, let's get Jay one of these toys.
And hey,
Not
please,
him,
I'll
it's
pay
me.
you eBay prices.
He'll pay
but
eBay prices. There you
I'll
go.
pay eBay prices. So, like I said, everybody get those eBay searches ready. I have Chomp, Godzilla, Chomp, Tom Whalen, Abominable Toys, Chomp, like everything in the searches. They are ready to go. When they pop up, I'm going to be grabbing one. So they're so cool. They're so cool.
It really is.
But no, in all truth, no joking aside, like congrats to them. And we love Tom. Tom's one of our favorite. And I wanted to highlight these two, not only because they recently were released, but like these are two awesome American artists that do very different styles, obviously, that are just putting out awesome Godzilla stuff in toy form. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, what a time we live in. What a time we live in. And these are just so cool and so different, but equally awesome.
Yeah. Love it. Love it both.
So going back to Japan, let's go back to Japan to talk about a couple releases recently. So, we're going to talk Marusan because we love Marusan. But this is actually, I think they had some new releases, some new sculpts or some sculpts they haven't featured in a long time that they put back out there. And so the September 14th pop-up, which happened a couple days ago, they did a golden yellow clear is what they're calling it version of 3 different sculpts. They did the King Ghidorah and they did the Godzilla 99, but they've done a Godzilla 68 as well. So this is the new one that they're going to be pushing, which, I love the 68. So I'm super pumped that this is a big focus for them, hopefully moving forward, because we've had a nice run of the 99s. I feel like there's been 1,000 variants of the 99, and they've thrown in some other ones, but like, let's get the 68 out there. So I'm really excited about that. And I will be getting at least 1 or 2. I'm not doing 68s, but I might get a few colorways because I do. My 2 favorite Godzilla suits are 89 and 68. So, I'm really excited about that one.
Very cool. These colors are kind of insane. That makes me like them even more because you don't see, it's not every day you see literally golden shower versions of Godzilla. They literally almost named it Piss Green Ghidorah. That's what they should have called it. Cool.
These are amazing. Moving on, I thought you'd get a kick out of this. Let's talk some Maragachas. They updated. They have a new lineup that's debuting in September. 4 new Maragachas that we haven't seen. We got Minya. We got Godzilla 67, obviously to pair with the Minya. We have King Caesar and we have Gigan. So they're getting the Maragacha treatment. These are the first kind of that classic Marusan colorway with the silver spray going back to 1966, first release Marusan. Like, let's bam. So I think these are awesome. I absolutely love the Minya. I think that's the winner. Me
too. It's the best one. I was just about to say these are absolutely like exciting sculpts. These are all really interesting, and like I want to see these as 9-inch Sofubi. These are beautiful, especially the Minya. Yeah,
100%. I thought they were great, and so I can't wait till these kind of get in some of the clear, the translucent, the glitter, some of the other wacky Maragachas. These are, they've had some newer releases and over the last year or so. I mean, I think the Destroya is really good. I think they've had some really cool ones. The 84 Godzilla is a really cool Maragacha, but I think this is definitely a step up. So really cool stuff from Marusan. Nice. Also, I want to talk about a couple other ones they have because I think this is really cool. And these are all 450s, and these have a little extra layer.
Cool.
Yeah. Once you kind of read about how these were chosen, or the colorways and stuff. It's pretty sweet. So the Pagila there, I love Pagila. They're so cool. The 450 series. So we know he's from Ultra Q. So the rationale behind this colorway, which is the Tatara Island, or we know from Ultraman, that's like the lawless monster zone, and Chandlar's there, and Red King and Pigmon and everything. So this one, the colorway is inspired by if he lived on Tatara Island.
Okay.
It's this like orangey type thing. And so it's like, I love that there's like even like a backstory, some thinking behind the colorway. And this was a 70s Toys website exclusive. They've just redid a couple of the really cool the cherry blossom Baragon. That's really, really cool. That just released. That was a 70s Toys online exclusive. So this one is going to be there. And it's just really cool. I love the Pagila, the old school Pagila sculpt. And this with the 450 it's big too, so it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So the second one was exclusive or is exclusive to the Shibuya Hand Store, and this was all part of that Showa, the Showa Soft Vinyl Festival. Let me see if I get this right. The Showa Soft Vinyl Marusan Bullmark Festival Summer Event exclusive. There we go. And wow. The one at the Shibuya store, Antlar, and this one was inspired by that classic old school 66 Marusan paint scheme with the blue and the green. Not too different than the recently sky blue one they just released for Antlar, the 450. But Antlar is one of my favorite kaiju in all of Ultra series. So I'm really thinking about picking up this one. I've had a hard time deciding which one, but I absolutely love this. And I love Antlar, and I love their sculpt of it. And, you know, to have a 12-inch tall Antlar, can't beat that.
Yeah, that'd be good. These colors are great.
Yeah, but the last one I thought you'd get a kick out of this because I didn't know this, and this is because, you know, we've been very outspoken. Like we don't watch a lot of the more modern Ultra. We haven't got around to it. I'm sure it's amazing, and
there's just too much.
There's too much. I'm jealous of the people that are, you know, they're already like they're watching the stuff that's coming out now, like because they've already seen everything else. Like I'm jealous of you guys, but we haven't got there yet. And I need to stop rewatching all the old stuff I know I like. I need to like branch out, but that's a different story. But this Canagon is great because I was like, oh, cool, it's Canagon. He looks a little different. What's going on here? I don't see like a money counter. Like, what's going on? But this is the Reiwa, the current version from Ultraman Arc. And he's different because he goes after cryptocurrency and digital currency. My God. I love it. I was like, that's amazing. So, of course, Canagon has to get modernized. I thought that was cool. So this is technically the Reiwa Ultraman Arc version of Canagon, but still awesome because Canagon's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's great. It's so funny.
You know, when we talk about Marusan, we also got to talk about their, you know, I won't say they're partners in crime, but they're, you know, historically the one that followed them, Bullmark. And they're, the Hakuba Gallery is releasing this really cool classic vintage style Gyros, this blue version. You know, this is a classic standard size, you know, 8-9 inches tall. But I don't know why. Like I've seen this sculpt a million times, but for some reason it looks so good in this blue and gold. I don't know. I really like it.
Well, that's my favorite thing about Sofubi is you can see a sculpt 100 times, not really care for it, and then when you see it in that colorway that works for you, you're like, oh, now I need this. And you're right. This is a perfect color. Like these colors go perfect with this style of like retro, you know, vintage looking sculpt. This is great. This is a great toy.
It's vintage yet new, you know? Yeah. So, and you can pre-order this when this drops. You'll probably have another day to pre-order it on, or sorry, before it goes live to pre-order on the Hakuba Gallery site. And even though it's a Japanese site, they do shipping across the world. So like you can get you can get this. I've bought a lot of things from Hakuba Gallery site, whether everything from my Bullmark hats to some Planet X Asia, you name it, they're great. So please, guys, go out there, buy this, pre-order this when it goes on sale.
Also, that's a $70.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, before shipping.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's wonderful. So, and Hakuba Gallery is awesome and all that good stuff. So there's that from Bullmark. Now, I shared this one in our Facebook group, and you know, this one's sold out. So this will definitely have to be a secondary market. But this was also on the Hakuba Gallery site. And this was from our good buddies over at USToys and their shampoo bottle deluxe series, this Gabora. And I mean, maybe one of the best figures I've seen in a long time.
I was about to say, this might be on your toy of the year list. This is great.
Is that good? Yeah. It looks so good. And I mean, I love Gabora. I think you can do a lot of cool stuff with the frill up close. You know, I love how Max Toy gives you like the closed head and the open frill and stuff. I can like that stuff. But these colors, it's once again vintage yet new. And I don't know. I love this. I think it's beautifully sculpted because USToys is just great. And I love their shampoo bottle series. Especially when the DX series, and I don't know. I think this is beyond stellar.
Yeah, I mean, USToys always kills it. They're one of the best companies out there as far as sculpts go. And the shampoo bottle series, I don't own any, but it's like
that could be your slippery slope.
Yeah, anytime I see them, I'm just like, oh boy, this is great.
And then X Plus. Now we've talked about this. We've highlighted it because it's showed up at some of the festivals, but like hasn't been officially like released. Well, no longer. It's on the Shonen Rick site right now, which I know there's a lot of confusion on what we can and can't buy from there directly now with X Plus North America. You know, that's for a different podcast, but I do know, you know, if you want it, you can find it. But this is from their favorite products line. This is designed by Easy Hobby and part of kind of their Omega Beast series that they do. And their Easy Hobby is Taiwanese, I think. I think they're Taiwanese. Anyway, but this is so cool. Comes with the deep sea, like the dead fish diorama.
Yeah,
as sort of the so cool. But I love this sculpt. I think it's great. I mean, it's menacing and it's scary,
very
and
detailed,
amazing, very detailed. Yeah. I love it. I think this is great. And you know, as I've kind of wean myself off of a lot of X Plus, it's really more now for like, is it a suit or a kaiju or something that I just have to have in every form, whether it's Sofubi or ultra detailed screen accurate, or is it something that just doesn't have a great Sofubi interpretation? And I do love the Max Toy Japan version, but like, is this something that I might have to consider getting because I don't know what the market's going to be for the Odo Island Godzilla?
Right. Yeah,
I don't know.
This
I don't know.
This might be about it for a bit.
And
for a while.
It looks so cool. It looks really good.
It does.
So anyway, this is official now. It's out. As it's been teased for so long at all the Wonderfest and Superfests and Fests and all that good stuff.
Jay's gonna buy it.
I know. Oh, that's all I got from news.
That's
we
it.
Just talk about
right.
Ultra Q.
Well, let's do it. Listen, so we were hanging out together. In Texas, your house.
Yes.
Kaiju Go, talking about we'll just watching Ultra Q, just like watching it for hours on end.
And making Jess watch Ultra Q for hours on end.
And then, you know, we were talking about it and found out, you know, there were a couple other series, Ultra Q series, and Neo Ultra Q is on Tubi completely for free. There's only one season. It's only, is it 11 or is it 12 episodes? 12 episodes.
There you go.
There you go. Look at there. Released in January 2013. You can watch it on Tubi, Pluto TV, Shout TV, Amazon Prime, Toku TV, Mill Creek Blu-ray, or Toku Toy Town.
You can't watch it. Do not go to Toku Toy Town. Like, hey, where's Neo Ultra Q, man?
No. But yeah, so we watched this entire show. I watched a couple episodes a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, Jay, you should check it out because the second episode was really great. And what's crazy is, like, I think the first episode's one of the weakest episodes in the show. And when I put that first episode on, I was like, oh man, I like kind of got bummed out, you know. But then the second episode, maybe the best episode in the whole series, and I was just like, okay, this is pretty great. So
yeah,
we decided to check it out. Jay, what did you think going into this?
Yeah, you know, well, first off, like you and I both are unabashed Ultra Q lovers. Like we love the original Ultra Q.
It's
like,
one of the best shows ever made.
Yeah, I mean, I always when I go like, what's my favorite Ultra series? I probably like it's between Ultra 7 and Ultra Q. If I'm like, if it has to have a hero in it, then Ultra 7. But I love Ultra Q so much. And like I just always thought, and this was just, you know, me thinking I knew what I was talking about and not. I always thought Neo Ultra Q and Ultra Q Dark Fantasy were kind of like unofficial or like, you know, whatever. And like nothing like, it doesn't matter. It's not well done or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that was it. And then you watched those first two episodes and you're like, hey dude, like you need to watch it, especially the second one. And I did. And I just watched it right on through. And I'm so glad that you kind of forced my hand there because it was well worth it. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It is 47 years after Ultra Q. And I love how like initially, like there's so many similarities to Ultra Q. Some things I think that it like expands on and amplifies to varying degrees of success. But to me, the base is like you have, you know, where you had Jun Monsume in Ultra Q, you have Jin. I love that Jun and Jin. Amazing. And then you had Yuriko, now you have Imiko, and you had Ippei, now you have Shohei. Like they even like the names and their roles all kind of play together. But I like that it absolutely is paying homage to Ultra Q but also trying to be its own thing. And I think that was great. But I really did enjoy it, man. I'm so glad, like I said, you gave me that heads up, because I probably would have just kind of like ignored it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's never a good thing.
Yeah, well, you know, I just happened to check one day. I was like, you know what? We were talking about this. Let me see what it's all about. I don't know anything about the other Ultra show. The one,
Yeah, I haven't watched
the dark
what's next,
fantasy
man.
one. Well, it. I don't think that one's on Tubi. I think that one would have been. I'm not 100% sure, but I think as far as the release dates go, I think Dark Fantasy would have been the one to watch next, and then this one. But it wasn't on Tubi. This one was, so this is what I put on. But yeah, I was surprised how some of the episodes, it feels like, oh, these are just straight up Ultra Q episodes. You know, like some of them felt like they perfectly fit in with the old series. If they were just black and white, you know, which one of the episodes starts off in black and white, and I was like, yeah, I was like all excited about it. But like the music, the voiceover, everything, you know, they do it.
You know, but I like the lighting. I thought that short of it being black and white, I love the kind of gray kind of filter that you see kind of on the lighting, where it's like, it's not like it's just a different type of lighting that you see on this than other shows. It's not trying to be, you know, crisp and bright and vibrant, like, because that's not the tone. So I love that part of it. And I agree with you. You know, I will say that first episode, I don't dislike it at all. It's fine. It's definitely, you know, at the bottom tier when you just factor in enjoyment. But here's what I'll say that it does. When you look at the whole series holistically, and it was perfect for me because I'm coming in, I love Ultra Q. And I don't want it to be just a rehash of Ultra Q, but I want there to be some sort of like bridge, or like, hey, this is something that you're getting into that, like, yeah, it might be cool. And I like that the whole, like, you know, getting used to calling kaiju ogres. That's, you know, with the subtitles, that's one thing. But like the whole protect the ogre, it's not doing anything. It's, to me, it was something, a theme that I would think could be tackled in Ultra Q. And I like that it was, even though, like I said, it's a little bit slower. It doesn't develop. There's not as much like oh my gosh moments in it. But I felt like it was a good opening salvo to be like, okay, this show has some connective tissue, has some similarities. If you like Ultra Q, you're probably going to like this. And so it did a good job of kind of advertising that. But you're right. When you get to the second episode, then it's like, oh no, I really like this thing a lot.
Well, I think one of the things that threw me off about that first episode is the creature, the ogre in the first episode. That creature design, the way it moved, everything about it looked, to me, so nothing like what is in Ultra Q or all the Ultra shows. It just looked, it looked like, oh, they've taken a different approach with the kaiju here. But that's the only one where you feel that way. Everything else feels like it came straight out of Ultra. All of it. Everything else feels like it comes straight out of you know, the original stuff. So, you know what my thinking on that one was? Because I don't disagree with you. I think my thinking was, I'm trying to put myself into like the Ultra shows, not Ultra Q, the original, but like the Ultra shows that were going on around this time. Yeah. And I bet you that is kind of, they're like, hey, like, this is our connective tissue from like the look and the technology and how the monsters are made is similar to the stuff that was going on currently at Subaraya at the time. And then in episode 2, you get like a true like throwback to something that you would see in the 60s. And thank goodness, like, I feel like there was a good mix of both. And that the mix, I mean, like the other non-monsters, a lot more like humans with some makeup on, you know, for Star Trek approach. Yeah. And then, but you're right, every kaiju, every monster that you see that from then on definitely looks like an Ultra Q monster, whether it's the Gastrobot or whether it's the, what's his name? Sedagon or whatever. They're like straight up Ultra Q original. Now, the episode 2 Laundry Day, one of the things that I really love about the original Ultra Q that they do in this episode is in Ultra Q, a lot of the times you have kaiju or characters who get turned into kaiju who are just like going around town doing normal things, and nobody seems to be like freaked out that they've turned into a monster or that there's a, you know, and I always thought that that was so funny. And then you get this episode where a character that is basically like, you know, their version of Garamond or something. He kind of looks like Garamond. It's just, he's the guy who cleans everybody's laundry in town.
He's the laundromat owner.
There's no mention of, you know, him being a creature or anything. He's just he just is the guy that everybody knows cleans laundry.
He's your friendly neighborhood dry cleaner, man.
Well, here's the question. At the end of that episode, we're going to spoil some of this stuff. So at the end of that episode, they, you know, it's definitely, a lot of these episodes are like protect your planets. You know, there's a lot of pollution episodes in this show, and this is one of them. And you know, he cleans the whole planet at the very end. But my question to you is, does he kill everybody on Earth when he does that?
He cleans them all.
Okay. I was like, is everybody dead? No. Hey, listen, Jay, there are 5 or 6 episodes here where at the end I'm like, did everybody just die?
Yeah. Well, so that's actually my number one talking point about this whole series, is that the Ultra Q had some open-ended conclusions, right? Like you draw your own conclusion. I mean, I think of, like, to me, it was episode 3 when it was a gift from space with Namagon, and like the other one like breaks out of the egg, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's another one, and it ends, right?
Yep.
And it's kind of jarring because you just think like those shows 30 minutes, like bam, you're gonna have a beginning, a middle, and an end, conclusion, move on to the next monster of the week, you know. This takes that idea of having this like you interpret it for yourself type ending. And it does in like every episode.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
almost every episode. Yeah.
Now, this is what I would say is one of the more, I think, positive endings that I took a very positive thing. Like he cleaned the earth. We'll get into some. I mean, you think of, to me, like obviously the Pandora's Cave episode where like the guy ends up just letting out all the demons to like cleanse the world.
That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Pandora's Cave is one. It is so dark. The whole episode is like,
I mean, the monster beast is literally all like gross black goo.
Yeah.
To me, like those two, I let Laundry Day and Pandora's Cave to me are like almost a yin and a yang, where it's like people are, you know, Kaiju Brethren and Laundry Day like helps bring out the best in people, even though that they might be horrible to begin with. And in Pandora's Cave, it's like the opposite happens in this, you know, same situation. Like I feel like that one is a very negative, pessimistic ending that's open for interpretation. And I think Laundry Day is positive. I love those 2 episodes, how they play off of each other. I know there's an episode in between, but I don't know. I thought those 2 were, I think of all of them that were open-ended, I think those 2 were the best.
Those 2 are the best. Yeah. I think you're probably right about Laundry Day, but also when I watched it, I was like, okay, but when he cleans the laundry, he gets all the dirt off, you know, all the stuff that's not supposed to be there is gone. If he does that to the entire world, do we belong? Does that planet, clean the planet, are we gone? So I was like, this could kill everybody. I don't know. It's like that's the like Black Mirror version of the ending of that episode. But that's wonderful, man. I think that that is the whole point. Is like it can be interpreted both of those ways, and that's why it's brilliant storytelling and visuals, and like because you think that way, and I don't know. To me, like spoiler, like episode 2 is my favorite episode. It's the best episode. It is the best episode.
It's so good. And Pandora's Cave is a great episode too, but very different.
Pandora's Cave reminded me of like this old fable, you know, that gets handed down from generations to generations, you know, and you got this really scary looking. When you first see him, he is very frightening because you can't
100%.
You can't make out his silhouette or his outline, and all you see is his eye basically while he's talking to you. And he's trying to get this guy to open this hole in the middle of the floor that you know comes to find out has not good things in it, and it's gonna let it out all over the world. And he's trying to trick him, and the guy's like not falling for it. But then in the end, he falls for it. There's like you know he hits him with this like really emotional scene, and the fucking guy falls for it, and the show, that episode ends with everything getting released from the hole, and you're like, oh my god, that's such a good. I loved that episode a lot. That's probably my second favorite episode.
Yeah, and like I said, like you juxtapose that to Laundry Day, where you have the old man who doesn't want to trust kaiju brethren. Oh, he's a filthy kaiju. But his wife is like, oh no, he's great, he's wonderful. You need to open up, be open minded, and he's great, he's wonderful, he's so nice. And then the guy is just a rotten man. Like he's just an angry man. And then like he, his wife passes away, and like it's like you see like some of the good and stuff come out in the whole situation. And I just love how that is so different than Pandora's Box, where the guy gets broken down and releases the whatever's in there. Yeah. So good. So good. So like, we sit through these first 4 episodes, and of course I liked the businessman who came from the sky, the one about the negative energy and the beauty, and how this alien race actually determines beauty as negative energy equals beauty. I think there's some cool things there.
I thought it was a funny episode.
Yeah.
It had some funny stuff in it.
Oh, 100%. And I think the alien itself is like, I love it. I mean, them partying is so funny.
Yeah, that stuff was all very fun. Getting drunk and eating pizza and shit.
I know, right? But to me, it was not a forgettable episode, but it wasn't as memorable as some of the other ones. Yeah. But that first 4 I thought was great.
It's solid. It's a solid first 4. Now in the second 4, the town that doesn't speak, to me, was one of my least favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And it was one of my, can this episode hurry up? Can we get
it was my least favorite. It was my least favorite of the whole series. And it's, look, I get it. I just don't feel like, there were some good parts in it, but like it's not exactly a new concept of like this definition of love and feelings for these essentially androids, right? But like it just didn't feel like an Ultra Q episode. Like it just felt kind of weird, and I don't know. I don't want to say it felt totally out of place, but it kind of felt totally out of place.
Yeah, there's just like this weird alien cult. Kind of that one. Whatever. Anyway, let's get to the next one, because the next one was great. The extremely smelly island. One of my other favorite episodes. Extremely sad at the end.
So sad. Oh,
I was like, this is not happening. It is so. I was actually kind of shocked.
Yeah.
That they did that.
They just killed the dude.
They killed him kind of brutally, and he was so fun and lovable.
He's Daigoro with the big nose.
This Daigoro with the big nose. And hey, I really loved how he looked when you saw him at night, and his eyes are glowing. Yeah, very good looking effects. He saves this woman who's stranded on an island, and then they sell like his drool in like a perfume or something. And then at the end, sort of open-ended, but it seems to me that everybody who's used the stuff is going to turn into one of him.
Yes. And so like I viewed it, like obviously it's very, very sad. Like, but the ending, not only is it like, okay, like this is super popular perfume that this, business mogul lady, she rose to the top of the corporate ladder with this stuff. Like, millions of people have used this perfume. Yeah. They're all going to turn into this guy. That's amazing. But then it made me think, like, what are his origins? Was he a human at one point? Did he get
turned into? Exactly.
Yeah. Like, is that why he like is so okay?
He can speak Japanese and understand it. Not many kaiju are up there talking, so
no, only Anguirus and Godzilla. But Satagon also, the creature design is great here. I mean, like I said, it's Daigoro. I thought this was a good one, and once again, one of the better open-ended endings that you can interpret it a lot of ways, and even some of them might not be like you take maybe the saddest moment of the show and make the ending makes it a little bit more happy, because it's like okay, like like who knows. But I don't know, I liked it a lot. The next one, though, I'll tell you, this one I actually watched twice. I just truly by accident. I stopped after it, and then put it back on. I was like, oh yeah, I just watched this one. I actually like the Iron Shell. It's not a new concept of like, hey, here's all these new creatures. They look gross and evil and they're whatever. We're going to kill them all. When in fact, they're saving us and saving the planet. I felt at times it was a little slow, but I did like the ending. And once again, another one of those very close or open-ended kind of endings with them killing the gastrobot dying because he's sucking up all the energy and all the the warmth from the volcanic activity from the earth. But then like the little girl's so sad because she loved him and was helping him out, and then you see the eggs come out. I don't know. I thought it wasn't one of my favorite ones, but I did enjoy it.
I lost a little interest during this one. I watched it and it was fine, but I wasn't. I think it was too predictable. I was kind of on my phone during this one. You know, it was like one of the ones where I was like, all right, let's check Instagram.
That one to me was the next one.
Hey, I like the next one. You know what's weird is on the next one, memories are crossing the planet. The first half of it, I was not really into it, and I was just like, oh, I don't like the way these aliens look. This is silly. But during the second half, I just found myself getting into it, and I liked kind of the turn of this main alien who you can see in the thumbnail. You know, the first half of the show, he's kind of a dick, and you're like, oh, are we supposed to not like this guy? Yeah. But he kind of turns around and becomes like a hero of the episode, and I ended up liking him by the end. So I kind of like went along for the ride on that one.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept, this idea of that, like, you know, basically like when these people die, this leaders or spiritual leader, whatever, like their spirit, so to speak, for lack of a better term, kind of crosses planets and stuff, and they have to find that next person that is going to embody them. And if goes to this young aspiring doctor that's going to go to like Doctors Without Borders and help all these people, and then they're trying to balance that between going back and kind of running this home world. And I thought it was, to me, it was fine. Like I didn't dislike it, but like it didn't keep my interest. And it wasn't just because there wasn't any kaiju. I don't know if I didn't connect with Shohei of the three. And he was by far the main lead in this one. Yeah. As much as I did his counterpart Ippei in the original Ultra Q. I loved Ippei. But yeah, I think that was the only, maybe it was that he was the least interesting of the three main protagonists when they show up. But the episodes they're actually in. But there was nothing bad about this episode. I mean, it's a very, very good thing. But it's not Laundry Day. It's not.
No, I think it's middle. I think it's middle of the road, but I enjoyed it. So the Tokyo Protocol, I felt kind of weird and confused by the end. I enjoyed this episode, but the episode gets really exciting to me in the last minute. Yeah. And this was one of the episodes where I would rather not an ambiguous ending, and I would have rather seen a little more. Like once the big weird things turn into the flowers,
the Balunga,
the Balunga with Godzilla spines turns into a bunch of flowers at one point, and everybody seems really happy about that, even though they have no reason to, except the one kid who's like looks like something dreadful is about to happen, and I was like, I need to know what's about to happen. I need another 10 minutes on this episode. I needed more to that episode.
Yeah, I love this episode. I think it's one of my probably number 3 or 4 on my list. Maybe 4 or 5. I go between this and another one we'll talk about in a second. But I love the piranha. I agree. I think it's like, okay, the theme, what they're trying to convey here, hey, like we have to do this Tokyo Protocol because we're, destroying the Earth. Oh, here comes these creatures. Oh, they're saving us. Okay, well, we'll turn everything back on because who cares about these creatures? Right. They're doing whatever. We're gonna make money and the world is gonna be booming again. And I love that they take that theme and bring it down to like a single dad with his son, at a blue collar job. Like we're like the people that like it really does impact. We're not talking about, the executive at a, Fortune 500 company here. And I thought that was really well done. I thought the person, the human element here story was excellent. I like the piranha. I love it, and I love when they turn to the flowers. It's like, oh, they're flowers. It has to be good.
Yeah, but it's
so
like clearly not. It's like clearly something dreadful is about to transpire.
And in one way, it's like, oh my gosh, like this is like the manifestation of, human greed. It's like this one creature's gonna help us out, and we're gonna exploit it until, it turns into this flower. But they exploit it until the very end because greed, and then bam, here's this giant plant monster that is, gonna be the total manifestation of that greed. Mm-hmm. But everybody's still like, hey, it's a flower. It's beautiful. We thought it was going to be an evil monster. But, so I thought it was cool. But yeah, I think of all the ones with very, very open-ended endings, this one probably could have gone one step further and been a little bit more kind of like, oh no, this is actually what happened. Because I kind of want to, like you said, like I want to know what those plant things do.
Me too. Yeah.
Because we all love a good Little Shop of Horrors or Bylante.
That's what I wanted. I wanted them to eat everybody. It's a good episode though.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, I love this next episode.
I was like, the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is not going to be good. And then I was like, this is going to be really good. I think at the end of the day, I think I like just the creature, and he's just so lovable, and
he's lovable,
and I don't know, just teaches this bratty person to not be as terrible. I don't know. It's a great story. I mean, it's kind of a simple episode, but I thought really well done, well crafted, and I love Falmagon. I think he's great.
I thought he was great too. I liked the design. Just kind of like made of trash, and which is like a subtle thing to the rest of these episodes that are all about how awful humans are and pollution and all that. But yeah, he's great. And I love that when he first shows up, she didn't freak out. She was just like, oh, hey, she's like, it's a monster, and then she was so sad when he was gone, I had fun with that episode. Jay, these last two episodes, I thought were not super great. Either one of them. They were like fine, but I found myself wishing the show like ended on a higher note. I think there's a lot of really, really great episodes in this one season. But I just was like hoping, like, I was like, okay, this is the last episode. This is going to be amazing. And then I just was like, all right.
Well, it's a little bit of a like ambiguous ending. So like on the Hominis Dignitati, like I thought it was a fine episode. It's definitely like lower part for me, lower half for sure. I just thought it was a weird one to end the series on.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
just that to me, I think that probably hurt it more than its context. But kind of, I like that. Like, okay, Jin, our main character for all intents and purposes, he has this soma attached to him. Like it's that's like, hey, we can't end it there. We need to know more. I will disagree with you. I love the Argos Democracy. It's probably my third favorite behind Extremely Smelly, Island, and Laundry Day. I really liked it. I love the whole, like, you have to make a choice between killing the prime minister and killing this building that we're blocking off that has both innocent people, children, people that haven't done anything wrong but are just kind of terrible, like the politician lady, and then legitimate like terrorists. But then again, those terrorists are also ogre liberation front people, where they're trying to get rights to these kaiju and ogres. I thought there's a lot of stuff going on here. I really liked the final scene, or one of the final scenes, where Jin, who I forget the actor's name, but he's great. He's wonderful. I really like him, a believable psychotherapist or whatever he is. And him talking to the Argos alien about the imperfections of democracy, but we don't have anything better yet. I thought it was a cool little scene, interaction. So I really dug that one. I will say, other than it saying he's alien Argos, like, I didn't get very much like Ultra Q vibes from this. I felt like it almost fit into a different series, but I did like it a ton. I thought that was really cool. And also I just thought that it was a nice, an interesting an interesting thing to think about, but I also thought that scene with Jen was one of my favorites of the whole series. So it's really high up there for me, but definitely behind Laundry Day, Smelly Island, and I'd put that one up there as well, maybe with Tokyo Protocol. Those would probably be my favorites.
I think my favorites: Laundry Day, Pandora's Cave, Smelly Island. Those are probably my top 3.
Oh, Pandora's Cave is good too.
Pandora's Cave, I really liked how dark Pandora's Cave went, and it really gave me like old Twilight Zone vibes. I was really into it.
Was that the one with some black and white in it? Was that the one that started out black and white? I can't remember which one it was.
I do not remember which one started that way.
I put those, and I would put Falmagon and Michiru. That's kind of like my top half. Like those would be kind of the ones that are definitely like all of those are really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think overall this is a good series. Like I was into it. This is one I'd like to maybe get some physical media of this, see what's out there, see if there's
Blu-ray,
a Blu-ray
Mill Creek
or something.
Mill Creek.
It was great. I want to watch the other Ultra Q now.
Me too.
I don't know anything about it. I will look it up and see where it's at. Maybe in a future episode we'll hit some more Ultra Q. Ultra Q is such a good show. The original. This is a good predecessor. I want to see everything Ultra Q. You know what I mean? I want to devour all of it. So this was a fun watch.
My question is, where are those toys? We need some toys. We need some. We need our Kaiju brethren and Sedagon Sofubi like yesterday.
Yeah,
like we need that now. Like that is non-negotiable.
I wonder if any of it exists. Like I wonder if there's anything out there at all.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. Hell, you could probably take like a powered Pigmon and convert it into Brethren, and a Daigoro figure and convert it into Sedagon. Yeah. But those two, I would love a Falmagon too. I think that would be good. I mean, these are not hard asks. These are not big asks from us. No. But world, we need these because I really want a Kaiju Brethren.
Yeah.
Sofubi.
Yeah, me too. I would love with a laundry basket.
I would. Oh, heck yeah. And I would love Dream Rocket can do it. Max Toy, you can do it. Come on, Mark. Mark, you can get that Super Eye license. I want a Kaiju Brethren.
I want one that, you fill with water and soap and press the button on his back and it spits out soap and water.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it comes with like a little, it comes with an actual, like a latex big nose you can put on after you use the soap. So you could be turning yourself into the Sedagon. Yes. No, I think that there's something there. I mean, you can, if you need to throw in like a Piranha or a Gastrobot or something like that. To finish. We're not going to argue. We're not going to argue. But no, those two, I mean, there's just something, and Falmagon also, but like specifically Brethren and Sedagon.
Yeah.
Like
they
were made for toys. I mean, those are like, come on. It's a missed opportunity there. Big money. But no, I love this. Thank you so much for kind of making sure that I watched this, because it was a home run.
I knew we would get there at some point. We've just been talking about Ultra Q so much lately since we were hanging out at your place and watching it. So
now, have you made Jess watch this yet?
No, she hasn't watched this. I mean, we didn't get all the way through Ultra Q at your place. I mean, we got pretty far.
Yeah,
but
14 or 15 episodes.
But we didn't get all the way through. So she's got a couple episodes left of the original series to watch. But yeah, there's a couple here I know she'd like. But yeah, dude, Jay, what do you got? Anything else that you wanna talk about before we get out of here?
I know, man. This is super fun. It was good to be back talking about it. Something we both hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it's fun.
Or hadn't, and sometimes it's like helps it like if we haven't seen something in many years. But this is truly like our first time watching this.
Yeah, new stuff.
And it's awesome. It just gets me really excited.
Yeah, me too, dude. I don't know exactly what our next episode is going to be. We might have some guests. And if that falls through, then we'll watch something else.
Yeah,
maybe
lots of fun stuff out there.
Yeah, there's some stuff to watch. But cool. I think that's it. I guess until next time, we'll